Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be giving you my 1-year ownership review on my 2020 Tesla Model 3 Performance. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. So this review is going to be a little bit different than other ownership reviews that you may have watched in the past, because I'm reviewing this car comparing it to other cars I've owned in the past, from a Bentley GT to a Porsche Cayenne S to my last car, which was a 2016 Mercedes E63s. So I wanted to give you a no bullshit review of what owning a Model 3 Performance is really like. The dealership experience with Tesla is obviously very different from what you'd be used to. So when I first started looking at the car before the pandemic hit, I went to a local mall, walked into the Tesla store, and started talking about different cars and things like that. I ended up ordering it online, and then the pandemic hit in mid-March. So I picked up the car in March of 2020 after ordering it in February. The delivery process was actually pretty amazing and weird at the same time. Because of COVID, I had a completely touchless delivery. All the paperwork was signed online and the car was literally dropped off in my driveway via flatbed. It was actually pretty amazing, and Tesla really did bend over backwards to make it work. I will say, if you're looking to get any kind of special treatment, I recommend ordering your car before the end of a quarter. They have specific sales targets and they want to hit them, so definitely plan accordingly. Now, if you're used to high-end dealerships, the Tesla model is going to be very different from what you're used to. There aren't any waiting areas with Starbucks. There aren't any managers coming over to kiss your ass and thank you for coming in and so on. One thing that makes me feel good is knowing that I paid the same price as everyone else. There isn't that haggling and negotiating that you're used to. Sure, some people love that feeling of getting a deal, and I put that in quotes because traditional dealerships thrive on giving customers the feeling that they're getting a good deal, when the reality is, they're still making money. When it comes to names like Mercedes, Porsche, and Bentley, you think of quality. Side note, when I think of Bentley, I actually think of unreliable, insanely expensive garbage, but that's just because I own one. When you sit in a Mercedes, you instantly feel the quality. They smell good, they look good, the trim pieces are solid, the stitching is perfect. You know that a little guy in Germany named Hans has checked the car to make sure that it's good to go. Now, I've made a video on quality issues that I've had with my Tesla, and I won't go into detail here. If you're interested, I'll put a link to the description below. Tesla has quality issues, period. However, this is a new company, an extremely fast-growing, innovative company. Quality issues are, in my eyes, kind of like growing pains, and I know they will get these kinks out as Tesla matures as a business. It has to be mentioned, though, especially if you're coming from a high-end brand, you will notice differences and it will bother you. The bizarre thing about owning a Tesla is that it does change your mindset. You look past certain things that you wouldn't in, let's say, a Porsche. So I had to ask myself the question, well, why? And here are a few of the reasons. Ask yourself, do you like fast cars? Do you like cars that can handle? If you're nodding your head yes, then this might be the best car you can buy for the money. Getting behind the wheel, you instantly feel like you're in something different, something special. From the lack of the instrument cluster, the lack of noise, this is a different world. Forget what you've driven before, because this isn't like any of them. My E63s was tuned. It had 756 horsepower, nearly 900 foot-pounds of torque. I had it V-Box verified 0 to 60 time of 2.7 seconds. Bizarrely though, the Tesla actually feels faster, even if it's not. There's no lag, there's no drama, there's no buildup, no shifts. It just flies to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Now, if you love the sound of a screaming exhaust, you will miss it. I still do. I put my window down every time something exotic drives by just so I can hear it popping and banging and screaming. Was it a deal breaker? Not for me. Not when you start looking at all the pros of owning a Tesla. Handling wise, the car feels planted and inspires confidence. It lacks the side bolstering you might have come to expect in performance cars, but it's not terrible. Coming from a car with an automatic side bolstering, it kind of hugs you when you make a turn. It definitely was an adjustment. Another thing you're going to have to get used to is shifting gears, or lack thereof. If you want to overtake someone or play with someone on the highway, I used to try to grab a paddle when I first got in the car to shift down. Instead, you just put your foot down and you go. Again, there's no drama, both in a good and bad way. The good, you just start flying. The bad, That feeling when you're sitting at 6,000 RPM and the car is just screaming. You're just not going to have that. Electric cars also suffer from a power loss at higher speeds. The Model 3 Performance just doesn't feel like a 500 horsepower car at higher speeds. That being said, up to speeds that would still land you in jail, it is very fast. The beautiful thing about this little car is the way that it takes corners. It feels like a smaller Porsche 911. With its low center of gravity to the battery pack, it feels so planted. It gives you this amazing amount of confidence, especially due to its all-wheel drive system. If you want to have a little extra fun, just go into track mode, play with the settings, and you've got a pretty fun little tire slayer. If you're someone who needs the latest iPhone, who loves new tech and appreciates innovation, then you really shouldn't drive anything other than a Tesla. This is like an iPhone on wheels. Ask yourself, what other car gets better over time? I've had 14 software updates since I got the car, each one adding new features, fixing bugs, makes the self-driving better, and even more. This is what gets people hooked on their Teslas. You fall in love with just how different it is from every other brand. You start noticing other Teslas on the road. You want to nod at them as if you're in some weird club. You suddenly start wearing Tesla t-shirts and following Elon Musk on Twitter. It's very cultish, but I actually really like it. The Model 3 has amazing daily drivability. It's an extremely well-behaved car when it comes to commuting and doing your daily drive. Many high horsepower cars feel like they're just too much when driving around town. The Tesla feels relaxing, quiet, and comfortable. When you need the power, just apply a bit of pressure in the accelerator and your head will fly back and you'll be doing speeds that you shouldn't be doing. The power is very linear and without the tiniest bit of lag. Moving on to the interior, there's a ton of space, especially for a car of this size. The trunk has a huge amount of room, especially if you put the seats down. You also have to consider another compartment under the trunk, which is amazing if you need a place to throw in a carry-on or a backpack. The seats are extremely comfortable and soft. I found them great on long drives. Comparing to higher-end brands, it's definitely something that you need to get used to. Again, comparing to other brands, this is like nothing you've ever driven. So there's no buttons, zero. If you need to adjust the mirrors, it's on the screen. Climate control, on the screen. Open the glove box, I think you get the point. It's weird at first, but again, if you're a techie person, you're gonna welcome this with open arms. Another joy about this car is the self-driving. You've probably seen the videos, especially now that full self-drive has hit the public beta. It's a game changer. If you commute on a daily basis, this will make your life significantly better and safer. I use my autopilot in the city when in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and it's mind-blowing. It stops at stop signs, stops at red lights, goes at green lights. It's really quite amazing. You know, even now, you can just put in a location, the car will take you there. It will get off at exits, change lanes to pass people, and react to things faster than you can. Is it perfect? No. Does it get better every single update? Absolutely. And I encourage you to watch some videos of the full self-driving. It will shock you. Are you still calling a dealership to book a service appointment? Well, this isn't 1990. With Tesla, simply open the mobile app, type in your problem, pick a service date, and a mobile Tesla tech comes to your house. It's really that easy. If they think it's a software problem, they'll call or text you to try to fix most things remotely. Again, the beauty of Tesla is that because your car is basically an iPhone on wheels, most things can be fixed over the air. Tesla can log in, view the errors, run a diagnosis, and figure out all of it without even leaving your house. The one thing you might miss is the $500 oil changes, thousands of dollars for brakes, and other engine transmission issues that plague every other brand at some point. The reality is there are just less moving parts to break, which means in the long run, less to repair. Don't expect a fully detailed car when you pick the car up from service if it does have to go in. And let's get back to brakes for a second. So thanks to regenerative braking, you rarely, if ever, use your brakes. I almost exclusively one-foot drive at this point. That means that brake jobs really become a thing of the past. For comparison's sake, a brake job on my Mercedes was $4,800 at the dealer, and I had to do brakes every 18 months. I have to admit, I drank the Kool-Aid. I love this car, and I love the brand. I can honestly say that I will continue to buy Teslas until I find a good reason not to. Are they perfect? No. Are they close and getting better one update at a time? Absolutely. The Model 3 Performance is an incredible little car. If you're looking for something that's good looking, extremely safe, fun to drive, a car you can take to the track once in a while, then this is definitely the car for you. If you drive a new BMW M3 and hop into a Model 3, I think you'll have a very hard time choosing. You'll have to wrap your head around certain things that you'll miss. You can't modify these cars. There aren't exhausts or intakes or remaps that will give you more horsepower, and I miss that, but not enough to ever want to go back to a gas-powered car. I don't miss gas stations. I don't miss gas prices. I don't miss random check engine lights, and I can honestly say, I don't think you will either. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, and consider subscribing. I'm always posting Tesla content, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.